Could the San Antonio Spurs defend the Alamo? In 1836, about 200 Texan defenders held a small mission in San Antonio against thousands of Mexican troops, and that mission was the location for the Battle of the Alamo. For 13 days, the defenders resisted the army of Antonio Lopez de Santa Anna before the fort was finally overrun. It became one of the most famous last stands in American history. The Alamo wasn't a massive fortress. It was a small Spanish mission with thin walls and limited supplies. There was roughly 200 defenders, including figures like Davy Crockett and James Bowie. They faced an army estimated between 1,800 and 6,000 soldiers. Sadly, the numbers were just too much. The defenders fought bravely, but they were overwhelmed. But what if history had one small change? What if the defenders weren't lone frontiersmen? What if they had the help of the San Antonio Spurs? Imagine replacing those defenders with a team built around discipline, defense, and a 7'4" alien protecting the paint. The San Antonio Spurs have built their identity on structure, patience, and defensive intelligence. For decades under Greg Popovich, the Spurs turned basketball slow and methodical for their opponents. The Spurs don't panic in big moments. They rotate and communicate, and they also just so happen to have the ultimate defensive weapon, Victor Wembanyama. Over 7 foot 4 inches tall and 8 foot wingspan, he's shot blocking balls into the stratosphere, and if you're trying to storm the Alamo, Wembanyama is literally his own tower wall. I can't emphasize how brave the original defenders were, but they lacked numbers, coordination, and overall defensive depth. The San Antonio Spurs strive to be exactly those things. They slow and control the space and time, they force opponents into simple mistakes, and if the Mexican army tries to storm their walls, they're running straight into the greatest rim protector in basketball history. Wembanyama isn't just blocking shots, he's sending those shots right back at them. In this wild what-if scenario, the Alamo becomes less of a last stand and more of a defensive clinic. The Spurs are going to be rotating positions just like they rotate on defense. They're going to contest every advance, and Wembanyama turns the mission courtyard into the most protected paint in history. So could the San Antonio Spurs have defended the Alamo? I think the Alamo holds. This wouldn't be just a last stand, but a defensive masterpiece. History tells us to remember the Alamo. The Spurs would never forget.